Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur. So as you're coming in, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live. Okay, so let's get into it, honey. This is all so nefarious. Listen to this. Youth minister, along with 6 others, were arrested in a multi-day child pornography sting in Floyd County. So they say 6 adults and 1 teenager have been arrested on multiple charges after an investigation into the production and distribution of child pornography in Floyd County. Floyd County Police say the 2-day sweep deemed Operation Spring Cleaning targeted suspicious online activity discovered by the Georgia Department of Investigation connected to suspected child pornography in Rome, also in Cave Spring and surrounding areas. Now, they say in their investigation, officials say they found graphic depictions of sex acts with children between the ages of 2 and 12. Like, this is just all so sick. I mean, this is like really, literally sickening. I'm about to gag, seriously. 2 years old, what is wrong with people? Like, they need to be put under the prison, okay? In fact, they need to get the death penalty as far as I'm concerned. Now, the content allegedly was both made locally and was distributed online through social media, chats, and groups, as well as other messenger apps. In one case, police say they rescued a child from the home of a youth minister identified as Austin Ray Perkins, who was coaching the child about how to act in videos and also engaging in acts of child molestation. They groom your children. They sit up here and they coach these children, and then they threaten them with death or, harming their family, their parents, or whatever, just to keep them silent. So it's not only physical abuse and sexual abuse, it's psychological and mental abuse. These children are traumatized after all of these things happen. And some of them don't even get counseling because the parents simply can't afford it. Like, this is really also egregious and needs to stop. Now, they say in total, police obtained 10 search warrants from digital devices and homes in the area. The names of the 6 men arrested are Jackie Steve Autry, age 65, of Rome. He was charged with sexual exploitation of children and possession of methamphetamine. He remains in jail with no bond. Well, good. He doesn't deserve one. Freak. Richard Castleman, age 26, of Cave Springs, was charged with computer pornography and released from jail on bond. None of them should get a bond as far as I'm concerned. This is also disgusting. And at the end of the day, the sad thing is a lot of these parents, I'm not going to say they're to blame, but they're not doing their due diligence and protecting their children as far as checking their phones, seeing who they're calling, who they're associating and communicating with, as well as checking their social media accounts to see what's really going on. Because most of these people meet these kids online, trust me. And so they say Jason Gass, age 27, of Rome, was charged with computer pornography, possession of marijuana, THC oil, and drug-related objects, and he has been released on bond. And then they have Tyler Johnson, age 22, of Rome, was charged with computer pornography and released from jail on bond. None of them, like I said, should have a bond. Absolutely not. So they can go out and victimize someone else's child. So Austin Ray Perkins, who's 25 years old and a youth minister from Rome, was charged with 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children and aggravated child molestation. He remains in jail without bond, as he should. Now, Joab Stewart, 24 years old, of Rome, was charged with sexual exploitation of children and was released from jail on bond. So anyway, this is also crazy. I'm going to share my screen and show this video. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you in advance.
A youth minister is one of 7 people arrested on child porn charges. Floyd County Police say it's part of a sting called Operation Spring Cleaning.
Fox 5's Patty Pan has details on how officers pulled off the sting operation.
The 2-day multi-jurisdiction operation was aimed at purging the community of child pornography. Of the 7 arrested, authorities say there was a youth minister who worked here at Grace Fellowship Baptist Church in Cave Spring. His mother tells me that he'd worked here for years and says the allegations are just not true.
This is my youngest child. This is my church-going child. This is my child that tries to help everybody. And when I say that, I mean, I don't understand. I don't. I don't understand.
Kelly Bishop adamantly defends her son, Austin Perkins. The 25-year-old youth minister is among the 7 people arrested, including a juvenile, in a child pornography sting dubbed Operation Spring Cleaning. At a news conference Thursday morning, Floyd County authorities, along with the Secret Service and the GBI, said investigators visited 21 locations over the 2 days and executed 10 search warrants. They confiscated everything you see here: computers, phones, gaming devices, and storage devices.
The images that were found on these devices were very graphic in nature. Some of these pictures depicted sex acts with children between the ages of 2 and 12 years old. This is very obscene material, and we're very happy to get just a small bit of it off the streets.
Federal authorities say they potentially confiscated millions of files of child pornography. Authorities say they picked up Perkins at his apartment on Collier Spring Road. Detectives say they also rescued a minor from Perkins' home.
The big news today is that we were able to rescue one teen who was living in the home where assaults were occurring and child pornography was being produced.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Perkins remains behind bars with no bond. He is charged with 2 counts of sexual exploitation of a child and 1 count of aggravated child molestation. Authorities tell us there could be more arrests in the coming days. Reporting in Floyd County tonight, I'm Patty Pan, Fox 5 News.
Like I said, this is also nefarious and clearly crazy, right? People have to be more careful with their children and who their children are around. This is just also sad. Now, I understand that mother doesn't want to believe that her son could do such a thing, honey, but the police were investigating this, okay? And this is usually involving the FBI. So with that all being said, and numerous agencies too, when they have these operations, Operation Spring Cleaning, well, in my opinion, it should have probably been called Operation Take Out the Trash, okay? Because that's what they all are, messing with people's children and all that stuff. And likely her son is absolutely guilty, because I'm sure that they found evidence on his computer, okay? Because that's what he's charged with, computer pornography. So more likely than not, they already have the evidence against him. So there's no explanation, honey, no ifs, ands, or buts, and no getting out of it, as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, honey, people like that need to be in prison without no bond, or in jail without no bond or bail, and then they need to go to prison. Okay, they actually need to be on death row, because this is something you can't rehabilitate people from. This is their sexual preference, to be freaks and pedophiles and to lust after children. And it's also disgusting. Now, I just told you all a story just yesterday about the freak who was doing the same thing and then had the nerve to be blackmailing the little children. I mean, who does that besides perverts? So listen to this. Missouri daycare operator charged in connection with infant's death after allegedly leaving 9 kids home alone. So Deborah Lundstrom, age 47, of Springfield, faces involuntary manslaughter and child endangerment charges for an incident that occurred on March the 2nd. So the Missouri daycare operator was booked into county jail Monday following the preventable death of an infant entrusted to her care. Can you imagine being this child's mother or father, coming to pick them up only to find out they're dead, and that she left all of these children unattended? On March the 2nd, Springfield resident Deborah Lundstrom, who runs a child care facility out of her home, briefly left 9 children unsupervised, according to a probable cause statement obtained by People. Now, when she returned to the home about 12 minutes later, an 8-month-old boy, whom she had strapped into a car seat before leaving, was not breathing. Let me tell you something. They may say it was not, a long time, briefly left and all this, that, and the third. And, it was only 12 minutes. First of all, you should never leave. This is what we should know as adults. You can't leave children, especially infants and toddlers. You can't leave them alone for 12 seconds, let alone 12 minutes. Do you know how much damage can be done in that period of time? And clearly, as we can see, because this child turned up dead. Like, this is all so crazy and so inconsiderate. And first of all, what was she doing that she had to leave? When my children were growing up, I had a person keep them that had a daycare inside her home. But if she left and went anywhere, she always took the children with her. No excuse for this. Now, Lundstrom called 911, but despite first responders' attempts at CPR, the boy was pronounced dead. The county medical examiner determined he died from asphyxiation. likely a result of the car seat buckle inhibiting his breath. Lord have mercy. Can you imagine this poor baby? This poor little innocent baby sat there and died because he couldn't breathe because the car seat buckle was obviously choking him. Following an investigation into the incident, the Greene County Prosecutor's Office charged Lundstrom with 11 criminal counts that include involuntary manslaughter, endangering the welfare of the 9 children, and operating a child care facility with no license. And that's another thing, too. Parents, you have to make sure that the people that are keeping and providing your kids, you know, when you're at work or whatever, that they have licenses. And you should also be checking their reviews to see what kind of people they are. You know, and talking possibly to other parents if you can, just to see if there's been any issues in the past. So they say it's unclear if she has entered a plea to the charges against her or obtained an attorney who can speak on her behalf. Now they say the probable cause statement alleges that in an initial interview, Lundstrom claimed that she had taken all 9 children in her van with her as she went to pick her teenage son up from the nearby high school. When investigators poked holes in her claim, that's when her story started changing. So she lied. She tried to act like, oh, I took them with me. I didn't leave them home unattended to and by themselves. No, I took them all with me. No, you didn't. Please stop lying. Now, eventually, authorities say she admitted that she left all 9 of the children at home, ranging in age from infancy to nearly 3 years old. Now, who does that? 9 children? You mean tell me she left 9 whole children at home and the oldest one was 3? This is absolutely insanity, right? But that she buckled the 7 youngest children in their car seats before leaving to prevent them from harm. She said that leaving them behind while she picked up her son from school had become part of her weekday routine, and that her 18-year-old daughter was often at home while she was away, according to the release. Well, her daughter wasn't home that day. Her daughter was not home that day, and part of her routine. So she was doing this on a regular. Okay, now her daughter was not home March the 2nd to help supervise, though the authorities allege Lundstrom did not make an effort to verify whether her daughter was present before leaving. Detectives continue to investigate and are asking anyone who has information about the incident to contact Springfield Police Department at 417-846-1810. You may also provide information anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers at 417-869-TIPS, which is 8477. It's also sad. Like, this is so unnecessary. Didn't even have to happen. I'm going to share my screen so you can see who this devil is. So stupid. This is Karen right here, as you can see. What a stupid self. That just really ticks me off, because here's the thing. Even if you think you're going to be gone for a brief period of time, you're just going right down the street, a myriad of things could happen. You could get into an accident, right, and get severely injured, and then those children are there all by themselves for hours, okay? And at the end of the day, also, what if something caught fire? I mean, anything could happen. Someone could break in. There could be a whole lot of things, a whole slew of things that could happen. This is something you should never, ever do. Never leave children alone at home if they're, you know, not old enough to take care of themselves. You just don't do that. And even if one of them had been old enough, let's say if there was one that was 13 or 14, clearly a teenager, they shouldn't even be left at home with 9 infants and toddlers. That's absolutely crazy. And she shouldn't have even been keeping that many kids, because if you keep children in your home and you have a license, I believe, at least in the state of Georgia, you're only allowed to keep like 6 of them, okay, with one person. Because how do you have adequate attention on all 9 of these children, especially when they're, you know, ranging in ages from months to 3 years old? I'm sorry, that just makes no sense to me, and it's so crazy. And I really feel sorry for the parents of that poor child, and just to come to pick their baby up and to know that this happened, this is really devastating for them. I am so sure. You know, so anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live. Now listen to this. This is crazy too. All these crazy stories, honey. I don't know what is wrong with people. Virginia woman on trial for allegedly killing mom and sister, heard on recorded call crying over their deaths. So Megan Hargan allegedly transferred money from her mother's bank account the day of her mother and sister's death. Okay, so they say on July the 14th of 2017, a mother and daughter were found dead in their $1.3 million home in upscale McLean, New Jersey. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said New Jersey. McLean, Virginia. Okay, now they say those who knew Pamela Hargan, age 63, and her youngest daughter, Helen, who was 23, a recent graduate of Southern Methodist University, were shocked when authorities announced that they believed Helen had shot and killed her mother before turning the gun on herself. Now, Megan Hargan, Pamela's oldest sister, is on trial after being arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the shooting deaths of both her mother and her sister, and staging it to make it look like a murder-suicide, honey. She must have been watching a lot of CSI or something, honey, because she almost got away with it. Pay attention. Now, according to a recording from police played to jurors on Wednesday, NBC4 Washington reports that the instant Megan and her middle sister Ashley Gerber found out about the slayings, they began crying and yelling, just sobbing, saying, "I don't understand." And one of the 2 sisters could be heard saying on the recording, attorneys for a woman accused of murder. Hold on. I'm sorry. That's something else. That's a pop-up. Okay. They could be heard on the recording saying on Wednesday, Helen's boyfriend, Carlos Gutierrez, testified publicly for the first time. Hold on, that's not making any sense. Wait a minute. I don't understand. One of the sisters could be heard on the recording say, okay, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, honey. I don't have my glasses and clearly I need them. Now, what she was heard on the recording saying was that I don't understand. All right. Okay. So attorneys for the woman accused of murdering her mother and sister maintain that their death was, in fact, a murder-suicide. And that's what the Northern Virginia Bureau Chief, Julie Carey, said in the courtroom in opening statements. Now, on Wednesday, Helen's boyfriend, Carlos Gutierrez, testified publicly for the first time. He told the court that he spoke on the phone with Helen, who was hysterical as she told him about the terror and the scenario unfolding at the McLean home. And at the time he spoke to Helen, Gutierrez was in Dallas. He said, "She told me her sister had killed her mother. She sounded very frightened and scared. I could hear her mouth trembling and she was crying." Now, he told the prosecutor, Helen said she never saw her mother's dead body, but said the door was cracked and she could hear her mom gasping. Gutierrez testified that Helen allegedly told him that Megan shot and killed their mother because she was afraid that her mother was going to take her 8-year-old daughter away from her. Now, reiterating that he told authorities in 2017, basically he said the same thing in 2017. He reiterated what he had in fact told them, according to police reports. Gutierrez also testified that Helen said Megan was on the computer transferring money. And so then there was an updated report that came out that said they have arrested 35-year-old Megan Hargan for the murders of her sister, Helen Hargan, and her mother, Pamela Hargan, in 2017. She was taken into custody in West Virginia, and detectives are currently interviewing her. They say more details would be coming out. So Gutierrez said that he begged Helen to get out of the house. He testified that she didn't want to leave or call 911 because she feared for her niece. Megan's 8-year-old daughter, she feared for her. And she said she was somewhere in that house. Here's the thing. Why didn't you go and look? And if she heard her mother gasping and the door was cracked, why didn't she go in the room to see if she needed help or if she could do anything to save her life? Like, this is also crazy. Now, goes on to say, and likes up, everyone. Please get the likes up. Please like and share. Okay, so she was saying that she didn't know what to do. She said the little girl was in the house as well, and she didn't know how to get her out. She didn't know how to get her out. Walk in the house, find her, and then take her out. That's all. It's not that hard. And so anyway, at some point, Gutierrez lost contact with Helen and began calling her, but to no avail. Eventually, Megan answered the phone and told him that Helen and her mother were arguing over a speeding ticket, but refused to let him talk to Helen. And this is what he testified to. Terrified for his girlfriend, he called 911. He said, "I think this is life or death. I think someone might be dead." Megan's attorneys did not respond to people's requests for comment but said previously in court records that Megan was not at home at the time of the murders. So Pamela's sister, Tammy North, told people that she is still struggling with the deaths of her sister and niece and the fact that her other niece is accused of killing them. She says, "I am overwhelmed at how hard this is to deal with. I feel sick every day. What transpired is killing me. The hardest thing for me to wrap my head around is Helen. Her last moments must have been horrific." This is all sad, honey, and clearly crazy. You just never know what people are thinking. You don't know what some people are going to do, and clearly they're not to be trusted. And so anyway, they say that they interviewed her. She obviously didn't give much details. So anyway, everyone please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time that I go live. All right. So here's a news report. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Time we're hearing from attorneys for a Virginia woman accused of killing her mother and sister. They insist what happened inside a McLean home nearly 5 years ago was a murder-suicide, not a double murder.
Our Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey was in the courtroom for opening statements.
Prosecutors say Megan Hargan killed her mother and sister in a plot to get money, fraudulently trying to access her mom's account to get more than $400,000 needed for a new home. On July 14th of 2017, all three women lived together in Pamela Hargan's McLean home. In opening statements, jurors learned Pamela's body was found in a mudroom. She'd been shot 2 times in the head, wrapped in a comforter, a dog bed placed on top. Prosecutors say Helen Hargan was in an upstairs bathroom, dead of a gunshot wound to the top of her head, a .22 caliber rifle resting between her legs. They accused Megan Hargan of staging her sister's death to make it look like a murder-suicide. Hargan wasn't arrested and charged with the 2 counts of murder for another 16 months. But her defense attorneys told jurors they will try to prove Helen was the one who pulled the trigger both times, that it was indeed a murder-suicide. Said Andy Elders, at every turn it will become increasingly clear the police have arrested an innocent woman. At bottom, this is a tale of 2 sisters. One killed their mother and framed the other for murder. But which one? They say Helen was on the phone with her boyfriend in Texas over a period of hours the morning of the shootings, telling him her sister had shot their mother, but insisting he not call police, nor did she flee from the house. Defense attorneys contend Helen had a motive, upset because her mother had accused her of using drugs and wanted her to break things off with the boyfriend. Jurors have been told this trial could last 4 to 6 weeks. In Fairfax County, I'm Julie Carey, News 4.
Jurors were also told they will soon be able to see a key piece of evidence in the case, a lengthy videotaped interview police did with Megan Hargan just 5 days after her mother and sister were found dead.
That's just all so crazy, because at the end of the day, these people were living in the lap of luxury, right? Living in a nice home, had money, all of that. But some people just don't appreciate what they have, and they want more out of greed. And rather than trying to make her own money, she'd rather kill people so she can just take theirs. Also nefarious, honey, at the end of the day. And it also goes to show how some people are just not appreciative of the hard work their parents do and try to help them. She got mad because her mother wanted her to stop doing drugs. Honey, you shouldn't have been doing drugs and dealing with a boyfriend who her mother didn't like. So that's why you killed your mother and your sister. And now I'm sure while she's sitting in a cold, drab cell somewhere, she's likely wishing she had it all to do over again, honey. Because if you thought your life was bad when your mother wanted you off drugs and to leave that no good boyfriend, at the end of the day, now it's going to be a whole lot worse. When you have all these years to sit behind bars and think about what you did and what you could have had. I mean, it's just all so crazy. I don't think people really think things through. I think people get caught up in their emotions and just, react foolishly. And some people are just so nefarious that they'll do anything for money, including, but not limited to, murdering their own family members. So anyway, Becky's going to sit in jail, honey. She's going to have to ride this one out, have to sit in prison and just think about what she did. And she better hope they don't give her behind the death penalty because she did kill 2 people. I'm just saying. So anyway, with that all being said, shout out to everyone in the chat, everyone tuned into the Queen. And thank you all for tuning back in once again. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. You can also follow the QueenAShakur fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human